Welcome to Repair Shop Reckoning, the race to zero, because chasing the cheapest price is the race to the bottom. And Kevin Brown has spent over 30 years proving that's not how you build a real shop. 3 decades in the trenches, mechanic, owner, operator, leader, through industry shifts, insurance games, bad hires, good hires, and hard lessons. This isn't theory. This isn't corporate training fluff. This is over 30 years of shop ownership experience unfiltered. On this show, Kevin breaks down what actually works: running profitable shops, front counter control, insurance negotiations, leadership, culture, and the mistakes will quietly bankrupt you if you let them. No corporate scripts, no sugarcoating, and yes, somebody might get offended. That's okay. If you want comfortable, Disney's 2 doors down. If you want the truth about this industry, buckle up. This is Repair Shop Reckoning. Let's get to work.
This will be a hot topic, People, you let people bring their own parts. No, I do not let people bring their own parts. I don't make a markup on their parts. If I do that, I lose money. I'm not going to do a labor rate of $5,000 an hour to offset the price of the parts. $5,000 an hour. Oh yeah, we make 900% on every job. Okay, and here's how uneducated people are. They're saying you made 100%. You mark it up 100%. That's a 50% margin. People don't get that. Like, these people that are sitting there talking just don't get it. But they're like, I'll never come to your shop if you won't let me bring my own parts. Good, you're cheap. You're not my client.
Yep.
You're not my customer. Go to the other guy. I look for professional buyers and I blow off the knuckleheads. That's what Mike Lee used to always say. Look for the professional buyers and blow off the knuckleheads. And that's what we do at our shops. That's plain and simple. We just blow off the knuckleheads. So let's get into AI, and then we're going to talk. We're gonna have the talk about. Well, I'm a mechanic, and I could be a service advisor. That'll be a good part.
Yep.
So I got to try to educate people on the GPTs in ChatGPT and the AI or whatever these people want to call it.
Yep.
So I've been thinking long and hard how to do it. And I guess the easiest way to do it would be like, okay, I want a football player. And that's ChatGPT. That's the app you download it, ChatGPT.
Yep. Anybody accesses it.
It gives you a prompt.
Yep.
That right there is a football player that is untrained. I'm going to take that guy. I'm going to pluck him out like I'm downloading him. Keep this in mind. And I'm going to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and put you in the Super Bowl. You're going to go ahead with the team, go, because you're AI, you're smart. He's going to run all over the fucking field. He's going to think he's playing baseball, football. I mean, ChatGPT in a whole is awesome if you want to look up random stuff. It could do it awesomely, right? But little tedious tasks is where it fails.
Yep.
And that's where a couple of these guys have gotten on their podcasts, their videos, their TikTok, and say, let's try to fix the car with AI. And they download ChatGPT and they ask it a bunch of questions, and it gives them all kinds of random weird shit, or it gives them some stuff that's wrong. They're like, see, AI is not going to work. It's wrong. Let me tell you something, people. AI is here to stay. You can either embrace it or you can ignore it. If you ignore it, you're going to be the same guy that told me years ago that websites are a fad. They're only going to be here for a little bit. In 2009, when I had my first website at Garrett Auto and Truck, and all my competitors around me, where there was a lot back then, say, you're wasting your time. And I was the guy that people were scheduling appointments for, doing early bird drop-offs, doing credit apps through my website. And they're like, yeah, you're wasting your time. Okay, now they all have websites, right?
Yep.
So now everybody's telling me, oh, this AI might not be a bad idea, but the guys on TikTok land and Facebook and everything, you don't know what you're talking about. You're wasting your time with this. So, right?
Yep.
So now remember, ChatGPT is a broad thing. We just downloaded. That's a football player that has no training, right?
Yep.
We just say he's a football player with no training.
Yep.
Now we take a GPT, which is a little regenerative little robot that we give a narrow set of rules to. These are what we want you to do. These are how we want you to do it. We do not want you to change. You are an automotive, whatever, little assistant. You're going to help technicians rate service for vehicles. You're going to talk about parts. You're going to talk about that. Okay, great. Where does it get its knowledge from? It's called a thing called knowledge sheets. Okay, so you're building a GPT and you have to give it knowledge sheets to refer to. You could do it links to websites, or you could say, I uploaded a CSV parsed with a bunch of numbers that you helped me parse so you could read it quickly for like I did the Grody manual, light catalog. I did truck light, Grody, catalogs and I upload it as knowledge. So now if I say, hey, what is an SS110 light? It'll go to it's knowledge base. You can see it, reading knowledge. It'll say, it's this light. Here's the measurements. Here's it is, blah, 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 blah. This is what it does. So it goes to knowledge. Here's the problem what most people run into. They say, well, I could build a GPT, but I only could do 10 pieces of knowledge. Well, you could do 10 pieces of knowledge individually, or you could say, okay, let's put them all in an 80-page PDF, which would be one file still. So your files can grow exponentially that way. So I give it all this knowledge and I say, okay, make sure when you write with proper grammar, proper punctuation. You cannot write it like you're an engineer because the customer won't understand it. You need to write it this way. You need to write it this way. And by the way, when you're all done, if it pertains to a truck that you're talking about, please go ahead and put these stuff at the bottom so customer under DOT, whatever. Where do I get the DOT information from? He's asking me why I'm building the GPT. You go to the FMSCA website, ping the information there, or I could download the PDF manual. Like I could literally took my handbook, which is a PDF, and say, here's a piece of knowledge. I put it in my Garrett one. My guys could literally say, what does the handbook say about this? And the GPT will pull that knowledge and tell them.
Wow. Yeah.
So this all stands on their phone. Okay. So it took me a while to get my GPT to the point where it's functional in my business as a one. It works for the front and it works for the back. I don't have two, I have one. And I think I'm on version 1.2 right now.
Okay.
And I started at version 1.
Yeah.
So I'm not, let's see here. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I'm at 1.2.
Okay.
So there's been some changes and I'm working on it right now. Like right now, I could have it do different. I have it up to do and be able to do the 3 different things. I could say, write me a labor description for doing brakes on this truck, write me a labor description for doing a water pump on this truck, and write me a labor description for doing light repair on this truck. And these, I'm doing this, and it'll do it all at once. So I can copy and paste all one at a time quickly. I don't have to go back to the prompt.
Yeah.
And that's all stuff I'm doing. Or I'm building into a thing right now. Hey, I'm doing brakes on this Freightliner truck, and it's saying, okay, did you look at this? Did you offer this? This is recommended by the manufacturer. So I'm encompassing everything in the GPT is helping the guys going, hey, what about this? What about that? What about this?
I love this conversation and the clarification between what the GPT versus ChatGPT, because we've been in so many conversations where people think that you're talking about ChatGPT being this on-train football player, you know, and everybody uses it, but they don't know what it takes, and you're detailing it, how long that took you to build out. And that can be the fun part, I think, is because if this sounds like something that would help their shop, you literally have them already built out. They don't necessarily have to put that work in. They could just buy it.
Right, they could buy it, and I just have to program the way they want to talk because different states have different languages and stuff. But just to give people an idea, let's go ahead and read my GPTs. All the GPTs I use on a weekly basis and the ones I built for my wife and stuff like that to make her job easier. We have a couple of my consulting clients, so I'm not going to say their names. We have the repair shop reckoning tool. That right there is a 2-mode shop audit gross baseline tool. I use that for dumping all the information into all the things. Then I could ask it prompts. Hey, go ahead and figure this out for me. Because every shop I have to figure out different stuff, right?
Yep.
We have different problems.
Yep.
Then I have the weekly performance analyst 1.1. That right there, Jason, my other business partner, Lincoln and Phil on payday, pull this up and they type the word start. And it says, how many mechanics were here all week, every day, all day long? We say all of them. Was any employees off this week? No. Okay. Then it says, what is the pay period? You tell it the 2 dates of the pay period. Then it says, drop the numbers in. You drop the numbers in. At that point, it analyzes everything and says, okay, you have 4 technicians. You had 640 hours worth of saleable labor this month, we'll say.
Yeah.
We'll just do it easy at a month. And I could do it by a week. We'll just do a month. It's easier. And then it goes through everything and it says, okay, this month you sold 550 hours. You missed your target by 90 hours. This is how much money you left on the table. And here's what looks like happened. It'll show you the parts time, the parts percentage, the parts markup, the cycle times on this stuff, your sell-through rate, and all that stuff. And it puts red or green by them. So whatever turns red, Lincoln, Phil, and Jason look at and go, what happened? So then they get together, and then I got them to show where the percentage should be on a high and a low and where they're at. So what I'm teaching them to do is run the business without me. They're learning their numbers by punting it in every week. It took me a while to come up with it, but I'm literally teaching them how to run the front end of the house without me on statistics. These are not lies. These are statistical numbers that they're putting in. So these guys are like now knowing when I walk in, they're like, hey, guess what? We got 32 jobs. You know, our sell-through rate, it went up. Here's one that people don't take into consideration. Your sell-through rate. You offer your clients 1,000 hours worth of work, just say. And all of a sudden, you look and you're making, oh my God, I'm only have a 40% close rate. So out of 10 jobs offered, you sold 4. And then you come and you say to your mechanics, you have 640 hours. Let me step back up because most guys don't put this in perspective. In a month, you have 640 hours. You have 4 techs, right? But you guys sucked ass. You didn't produce blah, 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 blah. What happened? Well, then you dig back into the numbers. You're like, wait a second. The service advisor only sold 400 hours. How can we work at 85 or 90% efficiency if you're not selling the work for us?
Yeah. Yep.
These are the things that service advisors need to be trained to understand that they have, okay, you have a job. At the very minimum, you have 4 techs. You have 640 hours a month saleable. You have to try to fill that up or go over it. If you don't sell enough, they're not going to be able to hit 100% or 110%. If they don't have the hours, that's a problem. Sell-through rate is a big problem, okay? And that's where a good service advisor comes in, okay? Another thing we didn't talk about, this popped into my head, knowing your clientele.
Yeah.
You have some people, Jason Tracy comes in, his dad just died, his mom is sick, he's been spending all his money doing this and doing that. He comes in and I know Jason's like, man, it's been a rough month because I have a good relationship with him. My mom died, my dad's sick, my dog got ran out, whatever. Man, I've been spending all my money. I need my brakes checked. I call Jason and go, hey, your front brakes are like 10%. Your rear brakes are at 30%. I know your situation. Let's freaking get the front brakes done so you're safe. Your rear brakes aren't dangerous right now. Let's get you scheduled to come back in a few weeks when you're back on your feet. Let's not hammer you now. You're going to gain more respect from that customer than try to freaking do the hard sell. Oh, you're going to die anyway. You're going to fucking die if you don't do all 4 brakes, okay? You kind of showing them that you're human and you're not only out to hunt them.
Yep.
Hunt that money.
Yep.
So now the guy trusts you. And that's where a good service advisor can read the room. A lot of these guys are clueless because they're commission driven at the dealerships and shit like that. They don't give a fuck about you.
It goes even beyond the commission. And you're in a dealership; it's almost soulless. It's like I look at those corporations. You're looking at the dollar signs versus the people. I'm not saying all of them, but in independent business, you have a chance to have more of those relationships where you have those. You know your customers.
Yeah, and I just had a situation where, what was it? It was a couple weeks ago. I wanted to talk about this on the podcast, where somebody ended up in a jam up. Somebody. One of our customers, actually, his budget was messed up. He's like, hey, I know I need this truck done. I need it repaired, blah, blah, blah. I can't freaking use my credit card till after the first year. And it was like December or something. I'm like, yeah, we'll freaking charge you after the first year. I know the guy. I've done a ton of business with him. I'm not going to be a corporate Joe. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. Don't care if your truck sits here. No, you will pay me. I know the guy's good for it.
Yeah.
Being an independent business, I could do that. Can you imagine a service advisor at a dealership, corporate owner, say, well, yeah, I'm going to make this decision. He'd lose his job.
Yep,
so that's why I think it's a little bit better when there's a little bit more humanity in the independent world where my guys can call me and go, hey, this is what's going on with Jason Tracy. What do you think? Yeah, take care of him. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Totally get it.
And that's where people, I think, miss the mark. So back to the AI. So we had some bottlenecks, and I've talked about this before. You know, one of the things with all these different Detroit diesel engines and stuff like that, they all take different types of oil. And it would have to take my guys a lot of time to call the dealership and go, hey, what kind of oil does this truck take? Or look it up online. I actually built the thing to have a knowledge base they could say, hey, I have this truck, this engine, here's the VIN number. It will go out there and check it and say, this is the oil it takes, this is the capacity. And by the way, I'm already programmed to give you all the OEM numbers, OE numbers. But now here's all the crosses to Baldwin, Donaldson, freaking, Fram, all these different ones, which is pretty cool. And that saved a lot of time.
I can only imagine how much time that saves. especially when it's pulling in the crosses.
Yeah, it really has saved a lot of time on the filters and stuff like that. So we do a lot of that stuff in my shop, and a lot of my consulting clients, I'm building them out for them too. Like, TJ, he has tanker laws on his. He could pull up tanker inspection laws, and he could write a description. It'll actually put the tanker. It'll cite the tanker law at the bottom of his labor description. What do you think your chances are of selling that inspection item or that item on a tanker when most big companies always tout safety first, no matter what? Safety is not negotiable.
It's like 99.99%.
Right.
You're not gonna have very many people walk away.
Right, and we do that too. We do it at Garrett on a truck. We have our DOT, get put on the bottom of the DOT law. This is why this needs to be repaired. Here's the DOT law. This is not me trying to do the hard sell. This is what the FMSCA, the federal government, says you have to do to run your truck legally on the road. That's what they deem safe or unsafe. I can't really negotiate that with you. That's what they say. That's why they have a DOT inspection, Department of Transportation.
Yep.
Did I put it on there to help me sell shit? Well, I'd be a liar if I said no.
Yep.
Fuck yes, I did.
Yeah.
But I'm smarter than everybody else to put them on there. So guess what, fuckers? You just got a pro tip.
It's not. You're literally you're doing the right thing because you're serving that customer, because if they get, sometimes they get pulled or whatever, they're gonna get fined for it.
Yeah. So, that's one of the things. So, the GPT has its place. Like, I use it for the write-ups. I use it for disclaimers. I say, you need to write me a legally binding disclaimer for Michigan to go along with the repair facility rules and regulations for this particular thing. This is what's going on. Here's one. We had a 6.7 Power Stroke come in. They said it's running bad and stalling. It was cold out, so Jason pulled the fuel filter out. Ooh, goddamn, smells like gas in it. We call the guy up. He's out front. We go up front, say to him, hey, did you put gas in this thing? Well, I don't drive this truck. My boss sent me over here with it. So we're like, well, somebody put gas in it. So you need to call. So we called the guy that put the gas in it. Well, how much fuel is in it? Well, I only had a half tank. I'm like, okay. It's still a bad deal because he drove it, 40 miles, but we don't know if it's melted down because thank God it had diesel fuel in it too, so it doesn't mix all the way. So we get a hold of the fleet manager. We're like, listen, the thing's, shuddering and missing and it stalls. It's got gas in it. We could write you a disclaimer to drain this all out, put a new fuel filter in it, bleed everything, and put diesel fuel back in and get it running. At that point, we could see if it's damaged. Now, how bad it's damaged is what we need to talk about. We know it's already damaged. CP4 pumps are shit. You're screwed. It's not when, or it's not if, it's when you damage this thing. Well, I know, but I need to get it back to my town with my mechanic. Okay, we're going to write this up, but you understand it's damaged. It might run and be fine. We've had them where we fix them. They will a day and they quit the next day. Keep that in mind. So we tell ChatGPT, write this all up. So this is where the fleet companies, the enterprises, the Holmans, and all these guys don't use their head. So this is an enterprise vehicle, but we happen to talk to the fleet manager. We're not talking to enterprise. So we write the disclaimer up. This is what we found. Here's a disclaimer. We talk to the fleet manager. Enterprise comes back declined. Okay. Declined. Why is it declined? Well, we want a compression test done. Well, the compression test is actually like 35% more than just draining the fuel out of the truck and put a fuel filter in it and run it. That's going to tell us the same thing as a compression. Yeah, it could have low compression. I'm not arguing that fact. But the guy, he's in a hurry. He wants to get back. He already says, let's go ahead and get it running. We're like, it's damaged. We don't know we know it's damaged. We know if it's going to quit tomorrow, the next day, or it's going to live for a year, but it's damaged with gas in it. We drained it. We put fuel filters in it and stuff like that. The truck ran fine. Didn't put no lights on. We put a disclaimer. This truck is damaged. Had gas in it. It had gas in it. Make sure he understands that it's damaged. We just don't know when it's going to quit. Sometimes they live forever. Sometimes they die right away. It's a CP4 pump. Blah 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 blah. We were able to have the guy sign it all, date it all, and everything when he picked it up. So he was well aware of this was the situation. So there's no lies. And we put it in his file. We do stuff like that all the time with chat.
Well, because if not, like he gets it, he's driving it, and then 2 days later it blows up, and he's coming back at you like, I thought you fixed it.
Right. And we told him this was just a patch. We were very clear about that. And I used my lawyer GPT for that. We actually have one that has Michigan law, look up Michigan law and do it that way. That was programmed by yours truly. So, I wrote through all the different ones I did. And I stopped. I think I stopped at the list, didn't I?
Yep.
I have the weekly analyst. I have another shop auditing program. I have a auto value check processor because auto value's accounting system is so shitty now since they got bought by a private equity group that when my wife would mail a check, they would just apply it to whatever invoices they wanted. So they're calling us up saying you're past due. We're like, no, we're not. We paid these invoices. So my wife would have to actually write down in a spreadsheet, type it in manually of what checks she did every week.
Wow.
So now with this GPT, she drops in the checks, she drops in the credits, she drops in the check number. It figures it all out and says, pay these invoices. So it used to take her about 45 minutes, she said. It takes her about 3 minutes now.
Wow.
Okay. Then I have my daughter's real estate comp finder I'm working on right now. I haven't done it. I have Motor City Estimator, my collision shop for big trucks. I take pictures of it. I put the VIN number in. I take pictures of the damage. It assesses a superficial estimate just without taking apart. This is what I see. This is what I send to the insurance company. That way I don't have to spend a bunch of time writing it. It'll pull out the parts it needs, put prices on it and everything I programmed and labor times and everything. I just send it to the insurance company. So then if they want a tear down estimate, I tear it down and I write a different estimate. But a lot of times if it's a total loss, I use this program. I get the estimate and admin fee. This takes about 4 minutes to do an estimate versus 4 hours. Okay. Then I have Shopware Garrett Numbers Analyzer. And I have Motor City Shopware Analyzer. I have a net worth navigator for me because a lot of times I want to know my net worth going up or down for stocks and bonds and stuff like that.
Yep.
I have the Loudmouth Site Assistant that helped me build our website.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a Smart Buy Finder, it was for my wife. I have a Motor City P&L tracker and analyzer. Before I would have to sit down with my calculator and a pencil and analyze my P&L in 30 seconds. Okay. I got my Garrett Assistant. I got another one of my clients, professional, his shop management program. Then I have the Motor City GPT. And then I have the Collision Shop Insurance Adjuster Auditor. I wrote that last week because we had a huge job that they kept switching up on us. So a lot of times these guys now are not locking the supplements. They write an estimate, they tell you here's the price, blah, 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 blah. They lock it, they send you a check. That way it's easy to track. You get that check, you put the payment. A lot of these adjusters now are leaving it open and they up and down it and take stuff up and add stuff on. So it's very hard for you to figure out what they did. So then they send you the same supplement number one that's different. So you have to sit down and rack your brains. So I had one that they changed 5 times on me. That was a $50,000 job. And it was here since October. So I sat down. It took me probably about 6 hours to write this. It basically told me any anomaly from 1 all the way to 6. What it was it deleted? Was it not deleted? Was this labor change time change? It went down to everything. It gave me a full summary of what they did, dollars and cents. He ended up trying to get us for $2,300 less from here to here. And I caught him with the GPT.
That's amazing.
Dude, I will tell you, you have to be like a mad scientist to think about this shit the way I do to get it to keep refining. Okay, now I'm at this step. Okay, GPT, do this. And a lot of times it'll get sideways when you're programming it. Yeah. So then you're like, okay, we have to go back to this version and start here because you got sideways. Oh, yeah, I see. I went side. It talks back to you.
Well, I think that's why it's so good to get into this and like the differentiator between just ChatGPT versus building out a GPT, because this is extremely more valuable and more efficient for your business, but not just anybody's going to pick this up and program it. And I think when we talked about before how you built out the GPTs and people can buy them and you can build them out custom for them, I think I know we had plenty of conversations. People are like, oh, I use ChatGPT and like, oh, I did this with ChatGPT. They're not thinking about what exactly it is that you're building out and how much time and effort and how you have to think even to put this stuff in. Because let's face it, you're not the average person.
No, I would agree with that. And just think about this. I know like this much. compared to these kids in Silicon Valley. They're programming kinds of
Yes.
crazy shit. I mean, it's over my head. Some of it, like I have my friend Shane right now, got Shopware's API. We're writing AI into Shopware for my use. So I can be able to my assistant and go, hey, what were my numbers at Garrett's this week? And AI will just tell me. I don't have to go to Shopware. Switch companies. What about motors? It'll just tell me.
Wow.
Right now I'm programming all that so I can just talk to it.
Yep.
My wife says I'm a fruitcake. I was at a birthday party and with Shane's wife, who's a guy that has the web and does the AI too. He's way above me. He's a computer programmer. But his wife's like, looks at my wife. She goes, does he literally correct the AI and yell at the AI and talk to the AI in his cyber truck? And I was like, Kevin? She's like, no, yeah, Kevin. And I was like, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. He sits there and he'll ask it a question. It'll be wrong. He'll correct it. You're wrong. You need to remember this. You're doing the... And what I do is I try to ask it for different things to see where their mind is with Grok, with AI, just to kind of see how it's evolving. It's evolving so fast. It's insane. That's why all these data centers are coming into play. People don't get it.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. There are other motherfucking data centers. I don't want data centers in my town as I'm posting on a fucking data center Facebook. Facebook keeps all their likes, posts, and everything on a data center. Oh, I don't want a data center in my town. Fuck data centers. I hate them. As I'm posting on social media. Guess what you are? Fucking stupid.
I love these people that were all like boycotting the data center coming to Howell, but then they're the same ones that are posting the AI pictures of them with their Christmas tree and like their outfits. It's like, you guys not know that's what it's doing, right?
Yeah, and I will tell you what, I don't think people understand the scale of the money that these social media companies make. Okay, I will tell you, I was in North Dakota at a client's, and he took me to a data center they're building. I swear to God, it's like you can't even explain how big it is. And then when you get past that, you're like, what is that? He's like, that's a generator buildings. And there's a quarter mile worth of generators because apparently the basement floor of these things are batteries. So if the data center power goes out, they could run like 8 or 12 minutes or whatever on batteries before the generators all kick on. They got to get them all started. It's automatic, right? But they also got to start. It's insane. 200,000 gallons of diesel fuel underground. These things are so big. They got to basically build like infrastructure, like power, bring power to them. It's insane. When I seen it, I was like, I was not ready to see how big it was.
Yeah.
It's insane. Now that one they're saying it's a closed loop, so it uses glycol that runs in a loop, closed loop, so it does not use water. So it's not destroying the natural resources. Ish.
Yeah.
So, but the AI is here to stay, and I'm going to tell you, I've embraced it in my companies, and it's made me way more efficient as a person. I mean, let's face facts here. I run Repair Shop Reckoning.
Yep.
We do the social media stuff, which anybody who does content knows is a time suck.
Yep.
Okay. I run Motor City, I run Garrett's, and I have 2 other LLCs. Okay. Them are kind of hands-off LLCs, but the AI has allowed me to free up a lot of time. And to put it in perspective, think about us trying to do a Word document 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I could build a Word document in 30 seconds with AI. Okay. Think about this. To build a web page on your website would usually take you 5 or 6 hours if you're really good. AI could spin 100 in 2 minutes, a minute.
Yep.
Think about that. It's insanity. The shit that's going to happen in the next few years is crazy. I believe, and I was telling the guys today, we are on the edge. We are like at the pivotal point where like Henry Ford came out with the car.
Yep.
Okay, then it came out with a whole nother set of problems. Everybody bought the car.
Yep.
Then they're like, oh, fuck, we need to put license plates and VIN numbers on these cars because they're all the same color.
Yep.
So that, you know what I mean? We're in that with AI. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, because we don't know, and then there's got to be the regulations, and
Here's a good point. I put videos up on my Cybertruck Drive Me on Icy Roads, not because I can't drive on an icy road, because I just think the technology is amazing, right?
Yeah.
We are going to have legislature here pretty soon. If I get drunk and I leave the bar and I hit self-driving and the truck drives me home, they pull me over. I'm not technically driving. There's no laws for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Because before they were like, oh, your keys within 10 feet of the car. You're not driving. Pretty soon I'll be able to sit in the passenger seat and it's going to drive me home.
Yep.
I'm really not driving.
Yep.
They have all kinds of laws coming up they're going to have to put in place for this AI. It's insane.
It's insane. And like, I enjoy watching the videos that you put up, like the one the other day where you would have wiped out and hit that car. Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
It just like steers you around.
Yeah. And people are like, yeah, if you can't see what you're doing, you're in low visibility, you're a fucking idiot. You shouldn't be driving. I am going to tell you what, the older you get, I don't want to be a doctor right now, but your freaking eyesight gets worse. It's something about like the reflectors behind your eyes, they start to dry up and they don't reflect light. And I have a hard time seeing at night. Yep. Just like, you ever hear your grandpa and grandma like, oh, it's getting dark. I don't really want to drive. I can't see anything. You know, the road glare. Oh my God, Bill.
It's a real fucking thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And we were driving and the snow happened to stop because we were in trees. It was like a whiteout.
Yeah.
And I come around that corner. It's dark. It's driving. I'm sitting there going, this is fucking great. All of a sudden, I bounce my head off the window and look, and there's a car there. I'm like, holy shit. I literally did not see it. I messaged Jason Spencer, who lives on the road. I go, bro. I go, look at this. He goes, I almost hit that fucking car. He's the only reason I didn't, because I was going so slow because I couldn't see, I seen the car. And I was going like 20 some mile an hour when the car whipped me around it.
Yeah. No, you could see you were going a good pace, and then all of a sudden it was like,
yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
There's a video, I'm telling people to look it up. There's a guy, they actually put it on the news. They say, this is a different type of video about Tesla. Tesla saved a man's life. I don't know if I sent it to you.
Send it to me.
The guy was like driving, it was a Mexican guy?
Yes.
Wonder if he's legal or not. Anyway, he was driving, and he's probably legal if he's got a Cybertruck or he's a drug mule. He's a drug mule. But he's driving along, he's like talking, all of a sudden you see that freaking car pop out. There was no time. That car popped out from the left behind that semi, was coming straight at him. He's like, I didn't have time to react, Charlie. That fucking Cybertruck with FSD whipped into the right lane and didn't hit the guardrail. It was so close, the car took his mirror off on the left side. I looked at that video 5 or 6 times. I pretty much sure I couldn't have jerked the wheel that fast on the truck. I would have hit the guardrail. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
That FSD did that. I'm like, holy shit. It's insane. So people could tease all they want. Elon Musk, a dick, whatever. FSD is real, and it kicks the shit out of every self-driving platform out there. No doubt about it, 100%. Tesla callability is bad. Yeah, I don't think they're the most high quality either, but I'm telling you what, that FSD is the future. And it does not use like, okay, well, Waymo's just as good. Well, what happened when the power went out in Austin? All the Waymo cars freaking all stalled, the people in them. Yep. They couldn't get out. They couldn't move. Tesla robotaxis kept on trucking. They were electric cars, and they used AI. They were all self-contained, so they could drive around.
Yep.
They're driving around the Waymo cars. So I don't know. So okay. So the last part of this podcast, because this is.
Can I tie the one thing about AI? Because before we got on, we were talking about, because people are like, if they haven't gotten the efficiencies and just all the ways that you save time and all that kind of stuff, you literally had a client where you put a high quote out there and you knew what the other quote was.
Oh, yeah.
And they went with you, and they told you the reason why they went with you.
Yeah. So at Garrett Auto and Truck, we had a company buy us that, I should probably just start at the very beginning. So, because I have to kind of make this make sense. So, they had an estimate from another shop that was down towards Redford, and they wanted a second opinion. And I told them when they gave me the estimate, I looked at it, I said, I am going to be way more expensive than this guy right away. I'm going to tell you right now, my labor rate's more, blah, 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 blah. Guy's like, I don't care. I need a second opinion. Can you give me an estimate? So I sent him the thing. Yeah, for me to check this truck out, it was I don't remember what. Oh, it was a DPF system. To check this truck out, it's an hour labor. Or 2 hours labor on DPF. He's like, you're going to charge me to check it out? I go, the other guy charge you? He goes, no. I go, look at this piece of shit invoice. Yep. So he's like, all right, I'll agree to it. I said, okay. So we checked the whole thing out. We took our pictures. We did our usual thing. We ended up being like $3,800, $4,000 more. I sent it back to him and thinking he's going to pick it up.
Way. Yeah.
He called me back. He approved it and called me back. He said, we're going to go ahead and go with you. I said, okay, I'm like, way more. I told you that. He's like, absolutely, you're way more. He said, but the detail and the knowledge you put in your estimate, when I took it to my boss and we sat down side by side, you answered every question we had for the other shop with pictures or verbiage. You made us feel so comfortable with your process. We were like, he's worth more money. And look at his warranty. It's right here in black and white. He literally gave it to us. He said, this is what I'm going to do. Here's the price. I'm more expensive, basically, and here's the warranty I'm going to give you. He's like, right there, we're going to move our whole fleet to you guys because you're no bullshit. You're like, yeah, you told me right on the phone, I'm going to be more expensive. But the level of service we got in an estimate in detail, we were like, holy shit. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't us sitting down writing for 3 hours. It was AI writing for us, laying everything out. Now, once again, let's go ahead and make sure everybody understands this. We don't say, AI, write this up, and it writes some beautiful thing. We say, okay, this is what we find. These are the points we want to drive home. This is the way we want to organize. This is the way you need to do it, and it does it. Okay?
Yep.
And we put all the pictures in and stuff like that, but the guy was comfortable with it, and he bought the job. And that happens a lot because I see people's invoices. There'll be one-page invoices where ours are 7. My wife's like, you know how much paper we go through? I'm like, you know how much I don't fucking care? And our sell-through has gone up like 11% since we moved to AI and started writing these whole descriptions up.
Because going back to the luxury jewelry lady, it's a luxury experience. And people want to be led, they want to feel comfortable. They want to feel like you're the expert, we're taking it to you, you're going to lay it out, you answered all the questions, you put the pictures in. It was a whole entire luxury experience. People will pay more. They won't pay more for Billy Bob down the street with fucking grease all over handing you the one-page invoice. They're going to ask for a discount.
Totally agree with that. And I always try to tell my people, you need to freaking try to answer every question before they ask it. What? Answer every question before they answer it. And that's what our repair orders usually do. We tell people, I don't go to the doctor and go, I have a sore throat and my ear hurts. And he looks at me and goes, what do you think we should do? Right?
Yes.
If I go, my ear hurts, this, he looks at me and goes, yep, we're going to need ear drops. We're going to need this. We're going to need this. We're going to put you on this bag. Are you allergic to amoxicillin? No. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to get you ear drops. About 3 days later, you're going to feel better. He's blah, 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 blah. And he's typing. You're like, okay, this motherfucker knows what he's doing.
Yep.
Instead of him going, oh, what do you think we should do? Right? And that's kind of the way I feel about repairing your car. Hey, this is what I think is going to take to fix your truck. Maybe, I'm not sure. What is a DPI? I don't know. What's a knock sensor? I could probably find out from the tech. My GPT has built into it for my service advisor. If they don't know something, they could drop in what the tech wrote and say, can you explain this to me? And it'll explain it down so they can explain it to the customer.
Yep.
And I say, if you don't know, do not fucking lie. Say, I don't know. I'm going to find out. Give me 1 minute. Or if you think the guy's going to be a problem, type it in. Lincoln came up. My son, who's not a mechanic, came up with that. He started asking chat, hey, I don't understand what this tech's saying. Can you explain it to me so I can explain it to the customer in layman's terms? And I said, Lincoln's like, Dad, you need it. So I programmed it into it. So now Lincoln is selling jobs, and he's not even a fully fledged mechanic, but he is telling these people exactly what's going on by the AI telling them. And not to mention, think about this, he's learning too.
Yes.
He's not going to have, if he does it 3 or 4 times with the same truck, he's going to understand it.
Yep.
So,
and not only understand it, but then how to put it into terms that the customer is going to understand.
Right. Because we all know that guy says 40 fucking times. We don't believe him. If we don't believe a salesman, we're not going to sell, we're not going to buy it.
Yep.
Your sales guy, you know that.
It's all confidence.
You got to sell that shit.
Yep.
You
got to believe it.
Yeah, you got to believe what you're selling. Here's another problem with service advisors. A lot of service advisors don't believe in their technicians and don't believe in the pricing. So they go, man, that's way too expensive. I'm going to go ahead and lower this down. Then at the end of the month, I didn't hit bonus. Yeah, because you don't even believe what you're selling. You're lowering your prices because you do not believe what you're selling. You do not believe in your freaking product.
Yep.
Okay, people know that. Okay, I was talking to Hal the other day about punching in and out on jobs versus punching in and out on a guy works 40 hours, he turns 20 hours, he's at, half capacity, blah, blah, blah. I believe if you got a guy punching a clock, he's there 40 hours and he turns 40 hours worth of work, he's 100% efficient. I don't have a guy punching in and out on everything in my shops because all it does is drive everybody crazy when the mechanics are like, I forgot to punch out on this one. Can you adjust this? And you're like, oh. So we just do a kind of a gross number. That's the way it works. I like it that way. I'm not a dealership. I don't have to worry about warranty flag time and all that shit. But, a lot of these service advisors, they don't believe in what they're selling. So that is a real problem in my opinion. You got to believe what you're selling.
Yep.
So let's close this bitch up with the number one thing that we get on our we don't need service advisor bullshit. I'm a technician. I can go up there and do a service advisor's job. No problem. We don't need them. They're going to be replaced by kiosks. Let me think about this so I can kind of talk about it because I get passionate, and I just want to be like, shut the fuck up. But let's just stop and like talk about it for a minute. Most mechanics are independent thinkers. They're introverts. Not all, but some. There's some mechanics that are smart, that are fucking great, that can talk to customers and fix cars, blah, 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 blah. Even the best mechanic has problems when he's got to do the service advisor job. Let me explain how. I'm going to give you some, go ahead and give you some context. When I was at Garrett Auto Truck years ago, before I could afford to have a full-time service advisor, so I would go out in the shop and I would work, then I would go write service, blah, blah, blah. So customers inherently always want to talk to you.
Yep.
So you're out there, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing the other thing. Here comes so-and-so. Okay, can you come and talk to so-and-so? Fucking A. You walk away, you come back, you move to something else, you leave bolts loose. That happens. I don't care who you are, unless you're regimented enough and you have the process in part. Yes, hang on, I have to tighten this, this, and this before I move. You still get lost at where you're at. Or you're doing a heavy electrical diagram stuff, and here comes so-and-so, interrupts you in the middle, it ruins your train of thought. It's no different than our cameras going out here.
Yep.
Right? Our camera goes out. We're like, hey, where were we on that? My flow got screwed up.
Yep.
We had that early on. So I think a lot of these guys are great mechanics, can really talk to people, but you have to pick one or the other. Okay? Now, and I also think an effective shop has to have good technicians to fix the shit, because without fixed shit at a repair shop, you're going to have nothing fixed. You're not going to make any money.
Yep.
Everybody agree with that? Without a good service advisor selling all the jobs and selling them 100% or getting them close to 100% as possible, the technicians aren't going to have enough sold hours. So in my opinion, they're both just as important. The service advisor is the face of the business. He builds the trust. He gets to know the customers. He deals with it. On a side note, service advisors, they get glory where the glory isn't deserved. The mechanic does something sweet in the back. Like they have a car there that can't be fixed anywhere. This mechanic fixes it. Here comes a Google review. The service advisor, Phil, did an excellent job fixing my car. That pisses off the mechanic. Jason's brought that up several times. But on the other hand, when the cars don't get fixed and the customer gets charged, who gets yelled at?
Phil's getting it.
Phil's getting it. You fucked up my car. They don't say you, your technician. It's like, you fucked up my car.
Yep.
So they get it both ways. So let's go ahead and say, let's take a basic grumpy-ass mechanic that's not very good with people in the first place, has a trucker's mouth like myself, okay?
Yep.
And he's got to go up and sit at that desk and talk to customers. As he gets frustrated, his anger gets up. So we go back to sentence 1 on my paper, the reception. Okay. How does that customer feel when he walks in? The customer is the mechanic who decided he can make more money as a service advisor, decides that he's going to go up front. He sits there. The phone's been ringing. Everything's been going wrong. He's not trained on the phone, but he was a mechanic that fixed cars, so therefore he's a service advisor. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know his margins. He doesn't know any of this, but he's a mechanic. He could do a service advisor's job. It's building, it's building, it's building. Here comes a little bit difficult of a customer, and the guy maybe has an accent or whatever, and starts questioning this guy that's already pissed off, who's not trained in a lot of this. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but not trained in a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, he's like, well, can I get a discount? Can I get this? Can I get that? You know, blah, 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 blah. And this guy's just fucking getting redder and redder, right? And finally, he's just like, fuck, take it, you fucking asshole, you're cheap, you're this, you're that. And then guess what? It's blown. And if you don't think that's real, it's real, because we've all been around these guys that are just overwhelmed as customer service representatives. They just have fucking had it. They're pricks. They don't have the right personality. What did that one guy on TikTok says? You could try to have a goldfish climb a flagpole 100 times, and 100 times he'll fail. Right? And that's like taking a mechanic, not all mechanics, but most mechanics can't even freaking hawk. But that is just like, these guys can't handle it. Yeah, and I had this conversation with Jason, and my son started being a service advisor, and I said it on Alaska, now it's the technicians versus service advisors. Lincoln's already starting to get that attitude, like these fucking guys think we do nothing up front. They think we sit there in the air conditioning or sit there in the heat while they're out there breaking their fucking backs doing all the work. Yes, they're doing all the work, but we're making it all happen. We're getting their parts. We're dealing with the parts guys that don't know what the fuck they're doing. We're dealing with the wrong parts. We're dealing with the phone ringer. We're dealing with them walking up going, I got the wrong filter. Well, that's the one that calls for this guy, the dealer, broke it down. That's this, that's that, blah, 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 blah. And all that shit happens up front. Like we were talking today, like, I was talking to Phil and Link was off Monday. And he's like, oh my God, I forgot how much better it is with Lincoln here because I'm trying to get the parts ordered. The phone's ringing. There's people walking away. 8 trucks come in. He's like, the place is literally melting down. The guys are like, bro, you're killing me. You didn't get my filter. He's like, I've picked up the phone 5 times to get your filter.
Yeah.
I cannot even get through the other phone ringing and this and that. And like, I don't think these guys take into consideration what goes on. Now, is there shitty service advisors? Absolutely. Untrained, shitty service advisors. They're a placeholder at to see the dealer. Yep, warm body, you got a pulse, bring them on in. Here's your service advisor. He costs the technicians a fuck ton of money. Absolutely. But if you're a service advisor like my brother, who's been trained with me for years and years, we started out together. He's a service advisor at the dealer. They love him. His mechanics love him because he sells the shit out of the stuff for them. Yep. And he gets some extra time for this and that. He knows how to say the shit. Okay, so they love him. Okay, my service advisors get along with my guys. They're all friends. Do my guys get irritated with my service advisors? Absolutely. Do my service advisors fuck up shit? Absolutely. It's not, I try to tell my techs, it's not on purpose.
Yep.
I go, they went to do something and they can't freaking get it. You know what I mean? It's just like, there's a lot of different things going on. I had no choice. So what ended up happening, pretty much what happened with me when we didn't have the money to do a service advisor, I would write service for everybody. I would do the estimates all day. Then when everybody went home and it closed, I would stay and do my jobs. I did that for a long time. I would work till midnight every night. And you hear these guys talking about, oh yeah, well, my wife divorced me because I wasn't working. Well, I wasn't working at the dealer. I was working towards my future. So I wanted to say I played the long game. I knew that eventually I was going to own the place. So I'm like, it's better. Yeah. I make this place stronger now. I could do it. And, that kind of brings me to another point where these guys were talking about, you need to train your customers not to call you and do this and stuff like that. I would agree with that, but when I was starting out and I needed money, I answered the phone all the fucking time. Okay, that's why I'm successful. That's why I freaking have all these businesses now and I have all the cool shit because I sacrificed early on and I'm reaping the rewards now. I do answer the phone for certain clients anytime. Like my consulting clients, one thing I said to myself, when I'm going to start consulting, I'm going to be readily available to my guys that I consult with because right now, this is my feeling. These guys are in uncharted territory. I came in. They really don't trust me 100% yet. I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Then all of a sudden I started shaking the bushes and I started finding all this shit and I'm throwing so much new information at them. They're like, holy fucking shit. And then how would I be if I did all this stuff and they're freaking out and their anxiety is through the roof and then they can't get a hold of me?
Yeah.
So what I do with my consulting clients, I do a group text. So if there's 2 of them and me, I have a group text. I tell them, I will get back to you. If I don't get back to you right away, it's weird. I will. Yeah. And I because you know what? I think that I should be able to say, it's not a 3-hour conversation. Hey, what should this number be? Da, da, da. I put that guy at ease. He's there for me. And one thing that came early on, and we could say Tim's name. Yeah. Tim told us, I feel like I'm a business owner out on an island by myself. I have nobody to bounce anything off of.
Yep.
With you guys, I feel like I have somebody that I can actually talk to and you give me answers. Yep. And you make me feel so much better. And any business owner that doesn't feel like they're out there on their own is lying to you. Because there's times where we're the best business owner, we're the worst business owner. And that goes back to these technicians and mechanics that become business owners. And I'm seeing a lot more that I'm consulting a lot more guys. These guys don't know what they're doing. They're doing the best they can. They're scared. They do a really good job fixing cars, but they do a really bad job collecting money, figuring out their numbers, writing checks, paying their bills, on the back
end. And they're doing big numbers. It's not like they're failing businesses.
Yeah.
They're not keeping their money.
Right. Exactly. It's kind of crazy. It's nuts. So, these mechanics that think the service advisors are useless, some of the service advisors are useless. But let's face facts here, okay? Enright Auto, who I've really never talked to, but he talks a lot of sense lately. He said there's a lot of mechanics that think they're great and they want all this money. They, quite frankly, they suck. So it goes both ways, boys. You got mechanics that suck and you get service advisors that suck. There's enough suck to go all around. And guess what? There's enough sucky business owners to work with the sucky technicians and the sucky ass service advisors. Would you not agree with all that?
5,000%.
Okay.
Yep.
So everybody in their own field has their own struggles. I don't want to say we all need to get along. I'm not Martin Luther fucking King or anything like that. Okay, there's going to be rifts in shops, okay? There's shitty mechanics, there's shitty service advisors, there's great mechanics, there's great service advisors, okay? The best way it works out is when the good mechanics and the good service advisors get together, there could be a lot of money made. That's what people don't understand.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Repair Shop Reckoning. If this helped you, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. We drop real conversations, real systems, and real solutions every week. We'll see you back here next time on Repair Shop Reckoning.